So we'll take a break from working on anything with the transmission. We're going to come back over to our motor mounts. I'll clean up just a little bit. Gonna have some room to work. Okay, so we're going to install the motor mounts the rest of the way onto the block. These ones are going to be a 7/16. We're going to step down from a 1/2 inch. We'll use the big boy torque wrench on this one. Loosen these, take them off. Grab an old motor mount. We're just taking the old motor mount to see how much play we have in the hole, just to verify that it's going to be right about the same amount that we have in this hole. And it is. So I'm going to take some Loctite. These threads just decently enough. Just going to start it in there. We're just going to again line it mostly that way. And we'll torque it down. I think at least it's in like 35 foot-pounds. And this side would normally be the stud, which holds part of the wiring harness that goes to the starter, I believe. So, as of right now, I'm planning on refabbing some brackets or possibly using some different block holes. Not outside. Got these guys now slightly torqued down to 35 foot-pounds. And we're just going to up that. It seems comfortable. Let's do 40. It's like 42 foot-pounds. People say to bolt these up to like 25 to 35 foot-pounds, but it seems a little bit light for me. I'm going to do mine right there, finishing off at 42 foot-pounds. Not too crazy. I'll go ahead and do the other side, because it is likely that we might have to take these back off if we don't end up being able to wrap up any brackets that way. So. So everything's coming along, but while we're here, maybe I'm just going to unbolt this. New spacer is this guy. You can even see for our part number M8510-D351. That one is coming in at 9.09 inches, or sorry, 0.909, so 909 thousandths, which is exactly the same as the trip flow spacer. So that's how we'll go about doing that. Next, real quick is what I say, but then it takes 5 hours. Go ahead and install the fuel injectors. Alright, kind of nice. We'll use this bracket here for a little camera stand so that we can install the fuel injectors. The fuel injectors that we got are from Fuel Injector Connection. Essentially, these are just Bosch 30-pound injectors, and these are the kind of OG 3-hole plugs, or injectors. So we'll open those up, get them on the fuel rail. For now, I believe I'm going to be just sticking with the stock fuel rail, and maybe in the future, if I could figure out kind of more about it, maybe we'll get an upgraded fuel rail kit. You'll see pretty much right away that the hard line, or the cross tube, whatever you want to call it, it runs in to the manifold. I'm not sure if that's a problem on all of these with the trick flow head or not, but I believe that's what these notches are put in here for. So go ahead and just remove all the retaining bolts. We'll see how this fits up. So theoretically, okay, so you can see just where that cross tube contacts into the manifold. So I'm just going to bolt this down to get a better idea where we're at here. With the fuel rail bolted down, just kind of gently set in place here, obviously. You can see the notch outs in the manifold are definitely for the fuel line there. And other than that, I think this will work. It's going to be a pretty tight squeeze on everything. But back here, got the PCV port. I did go ahead and pick up a new one of these guys. And we'll just install these fuel injectors real quick. Okay. Got the camera where I want it, and so this time I'm going to tape its legs down so it don't keep falling down on me. This should give us a little bit of stability. We will go ahead and remove these bolts again. You do want to try your best to keep pulling these out straight so that you don't score up the threads inside of there, the aluminum threads. did have to repair the ones on that side pretty good, so hopefully they will do good for us. Go ahead and just blow some compressed air through this guy. Each one of our individual holes. Okay. One thing that we do have that I wasn't sure whether or not I'll install yet, or wait just a little bit. Not sure still quite yet, but I've got this Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator, and I believe it'll fit on this style, but I'm not 100% certain. Kind of doesn't really look like it, but we'll take our handy dandy caliper. We're just going to measure the outside of each bolt hole. The outside is about 277 or 280. 2.780. It's about what we're looking for. This one, I don't know. I think it will fit. Let's go ahead and just pop this off and see. Why not? Why not? You mean there's a bigger can of worms? Let's see. It's not the worst idea to take this off of here. Instead of trying to work with it up there, bring it down here. And pop the old school Bosch regulator off of there. And the regulator will lift straight off. We'll go ahead and take off our hose, our vacuum line, and we'll lift the regulator straight up, trying to pull it away from the O-ring mating, essentially. Seems like a pretty dry gasket in there. There it is. Yeah, not even dry. So it's looking very, very similar to the bottom surface of the Aeromotive. Very similar. Wonder if we need this little O-ring though. I don't think that they supply one of those with the new one. Diameter looks to be about the same on both of those guys. So we'll clean that up just a hair. And we'll double check in our box that we're not missing anything. Tiny little O-rings. I'm sure it fell off, most likely. And who knows where it is now, kind of thing. But maybe one day we'll find it. Okay. Give that a good coating. And just clean up this surface real well. this must be the oil or the fuel return, fuel supply, fuel return. And right. So there goes our O-ring onto this side. Okay, we want to lube this up pretty good. Let's stick it back down on there. We'll just take a slight bit of motor oil into the cap and dab just a little bit on our fingers, enough to where essentially we can just do that. Slide that on there, use the remaining oil on our hands to lubricate the other two O-rings here. You don't want to get any kind of soupy oil all around here, obviously. Get into the fuel system. That little bit there, just to give it a good sheen. It'll work perfect. And final test, see if that fits. Now looking at the other side, we can take this guy and actually start by placing it where it goes. If you can see that. So we'll place the O-ring first inside of the housing there, and then go ahead and just pop this guy on there like that. The holes line up like it wants to be there or something. Let's give it a temporary sit down there. I think they say that this fuel regulator does not fit this year make and model 94 GT, but for some reason, like looking through the photos or something, they don't really make a good one for 94, 95 GTs. This is kind of the best thing that I found for 94, 95. We'll see if it springs a good leak the first time we try and start it up or not. As of right now, I'm happy with how it's taken to. Yeah, it's looking pretty good, so we'll call that. And then set this guy back up here, and we'll install some injectors. Take the camera back down. So now we'll take our injectors here. I'll take my razor blade and cut into the first pouch we want to get to. And yep, I believe this is ready to go on. So we'll take some of our, we'll start with just two of the injectors. Pop the caps off. We'll give them that same little bit of a oiling on all the O-rings, ensuring the good seal. So just the slightest bit of oil on one finger allows for the O-ring of two of them to get completely oiled up there. These are like remanufactured or refurbished O-rings, it would appear. However, I believe these O-rings are, I'm not sure if I said O-rings there or injectors or what. Anyway, we're going to start by installing each of the injectors into the fuel rail first. We'll get all those into there, oil them all up. also appears these injectors have got the 4-hole injection. So just moving up the last 4 O-rings, I should say. I'll just shove these up in there. Okay. Okay, we're just checking down in each of the injector holes, making sure that we don't have any gunk in there. Yeah, it appears we're looking good. So I'm going to take the one side of the rail there, try and get it lined up, take the other side and get it lined up. And then we'll press in one side here, and then we'll press in the other side. That's how she's going to sit. So, keep them in, kind of temporarily just throw these bolts in there again. Once we know for a fact that we're good, we'll pull these out one last time, Loctite them up, and torque them to sequence. Torque them to spec, you should see. Okay, we put our oil away. Little cap of oil that we had. We will put our caliper away, put some more tools away here. Clean up just a bit. Okay. So now, this is what we're looking at. Got all the injectors in place. Temporarily locked down the fuel rail. With the bolts, swapped out the pressure regulator for this Aeromotive piece. I almost want to set the upper manifold back on here before installation again, just to verify that we're clearing back here, essentially. So yeah, might as well just hold that up there real quick. Why not? Manifold. Awesome. So in the back there, we should have all the clearance that we'll need. That's what we're looking at. Should even have room to mount or route our vacuum line and everything. Perfect. Perfect. So, just need to get the PCV set up.